Hearing number 8167. This hearing number 8167 is being conducted pursuant to section 26.100.030 of the revised code of the City of St. Louis. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether the conditional use permit issued to Broadway Sales Group LLC, CO Shabir Bayat, for the property known and numbered as 4214 South Broadway, Suite A, St. Louis, Missouri, should be revoked. The conditional use permit number is 119265. The condition in question for the aforementioned premise are as follows. Condition number 5, the applicant must apply for and receive a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division before posting signage, and the signage must be approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator before being installed. Condition number 6, there shall be no bars on windows or doors, and there shall be no coverings on windows. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit number 119265 issued to Broadway Sales Group LLC, CO Shabir Bayat, to occupy 4214 South Broadway, Suite A, as a convenience store, no liquor and no cooking, subject to conditions. Item 3, the board's file on conditional use permit number 119265, including but not limited to the conditional use hearing record dated March 21st, 2013. Item 4, a memorandum dated May 20th, 2014, from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator stating that there are violations of conditions numbers 5 and 6 of the conditional use permit number 119265. This memorandum includes photographs of the said violations. Item number 5, a copy of a letter dated May 21st, 2014, sent to Broadway Sales Group LLC, CO Shabir Bayat, warning of the violations of the conditions of the conditional use permit number 119265 that were found upon site inspection, and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected. Item number 6, a memorandum dated June 24, 2014, from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator stating that there are violations of the condition numbers 5 and 6 of the conditional use permit number 119265. This memo includes photographs of the violations. Item 7, a copy of the posting for today's hearing. Item 8, a copy of the certified letter dated September 24th, 2014, addressed to Broadway Sales Group, LLC, CO Shabir Bayat, notifying of today's hearing. Since the zoning administrator has filed this action, her office has the burden to prove the violation of the conditions of the conditional use permit has occurred. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for any additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given the opportunity to present evidence to show that there has been no violation of the conditional use conditions. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. The testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board, not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent, not coach the witness. During your testimony, members of the board may have questions for you. Following this hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on hearing number 8167. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The board asks that the representative from the Office of the Zoning Administrator please come forward and be sworn in.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Do you see it up?
Will you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you please tell the board about the possible violations of the conditional use permit?
Yes, sir. My name is Myra Turner, and I am the zoning inspector for the City of St. Louis.
Thank you.
In May of 2014, I received a direct order from my supervisor to investigate and determine if any violations were being violated at 4214 South Broadway, Suite A. I did that inspection on May the 20th, which I did find violations. At that time, I went into the store, spoke to the owner, and he stated that the person that put all of the signs up, he couldn't reach. I informed him that he must take down all of the signage except the non-illuminated sign with the business name on it, which he has a permit for. I informed him he would get a letter forthcoming with the violations, and this was on the same day that I did that inspection. He received a 30-day warning letter allowing him 30 days to rectify the violations that were found on May 20th. On June 23rd, I was back out at the premises to check the violations from the 30-day warning letter. It was a follow-up. At that time, violations 5 and 6 were still violations. On June 25th, my supervisor, Mary Hoy Burton, sent communication to the Board of Public Service as far as trying to have a hearing for revocation. I received a copy of a letter dated September 24th from the Secretary of the Board of Public Service where she sent communication to Broadway Sales Group, LLC. On October 2nd, I posted for this hearing at said premises, 4214 South Broadway, Suite A. At that time, they were still in violation. Today, this morning, I was at 4214 South Broadway, Suite A, so that I could bring information to the hearing. This morning, I found that there was a violation to number 2. The applicant shall establish a trash removal contract through a private source for which he will schedule for regular pickups and maintain the premises of the convenience store in a clean and orderly appearance at all times. If you look at the pictures from today, you will find that there is trash in the rear of the building. Violation number 5. The applicant must apply for and receive a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division before posting signage, and the signage must be approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator before being installed. Look at the pictures from today. You will see that there are still multiple signs on the premises. Number 6, there should be no bars or windows on windows or doors, and there should be no coverings on the windows. Again, if you look at the pictures from today, you will see that there's all types of signs covering those windows at that premises.
So in addition to the 2 noted violations that we're entertaining in this revocation hearing, you're indicating that as of this morning, there is an additional violation, and those 2 remaining are still in effect.
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, if I could. So the problem's the signs
Yes, sir.
and the signs in the windows aren't supposed to have all that on there?
No, sir.
And there's trash behind the building.
Yes, sir.
Those are the 3 issues today.
Yes, sir.
Can I see that? Any other questions from the board?
Did you speak with the owners of the property?
May 20th, when I originally went out to do that investigation, yes, I did personally go into the store and talk to the owner.
And were they fully aware of the nature of the violations that existed?
I did make him aware of the violations when I went and spoke to him, and I also advised him that I would be sending him a letter forthcoming about the violations.
And were they aware that if they didn't correct the violations, they could have their occupancy permit revoked?
I did explain that.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else present who wishes to testify that a conditional use holder may be in violation of the noted conditions? If so, please come forward at this time and be sworn in. Seeing none, the board asks that a conditional use holder please come forward at this time and be sworn in.
We have conditional use holders. There's two of them.
That's fine.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Your name, sir?
Shabir Bayat.
Okay. And tell us why you think that you are not in violation, or
As far as the one second. As far as the number 6 violation goes, there are no bars on the window. So basically 5 and 6, they're like kind of like a double. We are violating on number 5 for some signs, but that's the same thing that comes up as number 6. We do not have any single bar at the windows.
but do you understand that? And I'll just make it clear that the intention is not to cover the windows so that you can see in and you can see out, so everything's transparent.
Yes, and that's where we were we didn't know the exact, like how to, if there should be none on the windows, because we do have a permit on the top sign that's on top, and that said they shouldn't be non-illuminated, so that's not illuminated. As far as the rest of them goes, the first time, he's the one that usually works at this store. I don't work there, and he's a business partner also. I have not met her myself before, but there was other building inspectors, not zoning inspectors, but building inspectors that came by and said, we had some posters on the outside of the building. They said, if it's on the outside, you have to remove it or get proper permits. But they said, if it's on the inside, it's okay. So now our stuff is on the inside, except there are a few stuff that says like T-Mobile or Go Smart that's on the outside, but they really don't block anything because just a bunch of letters. As far as the trash goes, we have a scheduled trash pickup every Thursday. So the stuff that she mentioned today on the back of the building, they will be gone by Thursday. They come in. And as far as the front and the rest of the property is concerned, we are on a triple net contract with the property owner, and that belongs to them. And they have a maintenance guy that comes, does the stuff once a week. And we have complained to the building, the landlord, that once a week is most of the time not enough. Sometimes they pick up on Saturday or Sunday, and by Tuesday it's really back, it's really dirty. But again, that we pay extra rent on top of that for the triple net to be covered. That includes snow removal, leaf and other trash removal. That all belongs to the landlord, and they are a little bit lazy on that. That is, I understand, but that's not something that I can, kind of force the landlord to do. We do call them regularly to do, and then sometime if they feel a little bit happy about it, they'll send a person ahead of time instead of a Saturday or Sunday. They usually come in. But on the number 6, when we first opened, one of the conditions that before we could sign in at the zoning, and we had to get a signature of Terrell on there too, is that there should not be any bars on the windows, because we were concerned about the security of people breaking in, because before we even opened in, the windows were broken in twice. They took the tools. So we invested on the Lexan glass on top. We have another layer of glass on top of our windows, and that's it's a plexiglass. It's unbreakable because the city said you cannot put the security bars on there. And as far as the lettering on the company signs that are on the windows, we are authorized for T-Mobile and Boost and Go Smart. If those are the problem, I can remove them. But as far as I understood, we were supposed to have them on the inside and not on the outside, and they are on the inside of the building. But if the inside is a problem, they could be removed by the end of the day.
So just a couple of things I want to point out. You had mentioned the building inspector, and we have this conditional use permit. You need to be in compliance with all the rules.
I did not know I'm not compliant with all of them. There was few, I know. They mentioned it, and they said they have to go on the inside or remove them completely, and we did. And the other thing is that if I know it doesn't concern me, and it's not about this is about my business and not the others. But if you drive on the same plaza that we are, right next door to us, there's a beauty supply, and you cannot, even if you put your head through that, you cannot see the inside. Everything is covered up. And if you go down, we are on Merrimack and Broadway. If you go down on Merrimack, there's called Merrimack Market, and they have those bars in there that the city says remove. And we had another business that I used to work at that the city made us remove. We did, but yeah. As far as I did not know the number 5, number 6. I thought we were on the clear. So now I'm guessing it's because the windows are covered by a poster or something. That's the problem. But there are no bars.
And I guess the issue with the trash, you say it's picked up on a Saturday.
The trash that we have regularly scheduled with the company, they pick up the dumpsters on Thursdays.
Okay.
It's once a week.
And that's fine, other than the fact that when you look at the pictures, what you'll note is that there's not trash in the trash can, there's trash all over the ground. And I don't think when they pick up trash,
and that's
the driver
another thing
gets
that
out
I
and
want
picks
to
the trash
mention
up.
is that for that particular reason, we even had to put cameras on the back of the building, because in the past we had a problem with people had dumped in 4 or 5 used tires, and the trash company wouldn't pick those. So they had dumped it inside the dumpster, and then when the trash company came in, the drivers took it out because they didn't want to take it with them. They put it back on the back. So we had to hire somebody to take them out and dump them in the dumpster. But that's something that a lot of time people clean up their backyard. They don't have a proper trash services, or they don't want to pay somebody. They just dump it to the nearest place. And on the back of the building, if you see, there is nothing behind it. It's the back of the building and the highway, so it's very secluded. You could be there for hours and nobody will notice you. And so the trash, most of the trash that's in there is not ours, but still we will remove it. As far as this morning goes, we did not know about this morning, but we do have a scheduled pickup trash for Thursday. And then the building maintenance guy comes in on Saturdays and picks up, cleans in the parking lot and picks up like the soda cans or the packed cigarette or whatever that might be on the litter of the parking lot. Okay. But they come in on Saturdays.
Are there any other questions from the board?
Yeah, did you talk to the inspector?
I have not talked to her, no.
Did your partner talk to the inspector?
He's the one usually working, and we do have another guy, so I don't know if it was him that was, when she came into the store, it was or the third guy. But we are 3 partners at the business. One of them couldn't come in right now because he's at the store right now.
I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
To answer my question.
I know, I have not talked to her, no.
Okay. Are you aware of what the problem is now?
Yes, definitely.
What's the problem?
Well, if they're not taken care of, I could be revoked.
No, what's the problem?
The problem
Why-
right now,
Yeah. What do you have to fix?
the windows and the trash on the back.
Okay. And is that something you could do like today?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so you clearly understand.
Yeah, and
Windows, the signs in the window.
so I just want to make clear, there should be nothing on the window, period.
I could. I think we need the zoning person to come up here and make it clear. Because
Okay.
I think there's a bunch of things going on here that you don't seem to get yet.
No, that's why I want to be clear, because if they want to remove every single one of them, I could do that.
My understanding is there's only one sign permitted.
Yeah,
That may possibly be the one over the front window, okay?
that's on top that says Broadway Mart.
Wait a minute, all these pictures show signs on the side of the building, signs sticking out of the sidewalk, okay? So it's not just, it's not just the signs in the window, okay? And I think we need the zoning person to clear all this up so we can get an understanding of what's going on here. That's where I think we need to go.
And,
There's
can I-
signs everywhere, one sign, everywhere a sign, there's a song like that.
Okay.
Too many.
So, On the side of the building, did you guys remove the side of the building that discount smoke says? Okay. There was one, it said discount smoke on the side of the building. That has been removed since. As far as on the sidewalk and stuff goes, we're authorized, like I said, for Metro PC and stuff like that. Now again, I can monitor it a little bit more, but they bring in those little yard signs and they stick them in there when they have a sale. It's there. If we can remove it, I know it's my duty.
We can talk all day about this. I think at some point, Mr. President, we need to ask the zoning person to come up, and we're going to go through every point, okay?
Okay,
We
so-
can't just keep talking in circles, because I got something else to do today,
I understand.
okay? But we need to get it down, and your trash service is very weak, and I think the zoning person is going to tell you that you have a responsibility to go out there every day and pick that lot up. This once a week on a Saturday ain't going to get it, and I think she needs to lay it out for what we need here, okay? Because we're
Okay.
not doing this.
If she can tell me that what items she wants removed, it could be removed by the end of the day, yes.
Can we have her come back up?
Let's,
And then she could
back.
come by tomorrow morning and,
I'll finish
you
up with
know.
her. That's fine.
Ah.
Okay. So just to be clear, if we have her come up here and go point by point through this thing and make it very clear to you what the issues are, will you resolve these issues immediately?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and if they ever come up in the future, and she comes in and she visits you, or she sends you a letter, will you clear them up immediately, should anything come up on this conditional use? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the board?
No, just have her back up.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there anyone else in support of the conditional use holder who wishes to testify? Okay. Seeing none, I would like to ask that the zoning inspector come back forward and clarify for us what the exact issues are that need to be resolved for our deliberation.
My returner zoning inspector for the city of St. Louis. Okay, the conditions that were given to this business, number one, the hours of operation for the business should be limited to 8 a.m. until 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Number two, the applicant shall establish a trash removal contract through a private source for which he will schedule for regular pickups and maintain the premises of the convenience store in a clean and orderly appearance at all times. Number three, there shall be no selling of liquor, alcohol, or non-intoxicating beer at the convenience store at any time. Number four, there shall be no cooking besides the warming of items in a microwave oven. Number five, the applicant must apply for and receive a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division before posting signage, and the signage must be approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator before being installed.
Before you go on, so on that one right there, let's just make sure we clarify this. That means any sign that is out on the building needs to be permitted.
Yes.
Not stuck out of the sidewalk or whatever the case. You have to have a permit.
Must have
for the
a
signage.
permit for all signage.
Otherwise, it needs to come down.
It needs to be removed.
Thank you.
the applicant made a point that they have approval for one sign over the door.
Yes, the one sign that they have approval for is the actual name of the business, which is a non-illuminated sign.
That's the only one.
That's the only one they have a permit for at this time.
Okay. So any additional signs that you want to put up, you either have to take them down immediately, or you have to get a permit from the building division to have those up.
So, on the ones that are on the window right now, is there any one of them that we can apply for a permit, say today or tomorrow, that we can keep? Or we have to remove everything first and then reapply for it?
Right now, you have to remove everything that is on the windows.
Okay.
Then you must come down and apply for whatever signs you would like to have. They still will not be permitted on the windows because in number 6, you don't have bars, but you cannot cover the windows.
Then our neighbors, if I have parties on my right and they're advertising.
I'm sorry, you have to be sworn in to speak at the hearing, sorry.
Okay, well, I'll talk. So on our right, Hardee's, they have the same thing. All their windows are covered. On our left is the beauty supply. And on the beauty supply, when I say you cannot put like this your head, you will not see a single dot of light until you go inside. And right across in front of us, there is Merrimack Market, and they're violating one through everything because they even have the bars on there, and they have the
Okay.
flags on the street.
Today, we're not looking at anything other than your business.
I know. So I mean, like I said, I will remove everything that I am in violation.
Right.
But it's hard to compete if I have to remove everything and then everybody around me. When
I understand that completely, and we're trying to give you every opportunity in the world here to keep your permit. We're asking you to work with us.
So that's fine. Like I said, if you come by tomorrow, all the stuff that you mentioned today on the windows will be removed. And we will come back on Friday to apply for a bunch of permits because we do need some signs on the windows.
But, sir,
Well,
according to condition number 6, there shall be no bars on the windows or doors, and there shall be no coverings on the windows.
Well, it don't have to be on the windows. There's a lot of sides of the building that's brick walls. We could put stuff on there. But as far as permit goes, as long as it's permittable, we'll get a permit and put it on there.
Whatever signage you have, you need a permit for, and it cannot be on the windows.
Yep. And
Okay.
the other thing that she mentioned, as far as the business of hours, is that it cannot be more than 8 to 10. We're open from 9 to 8. So that is with it. That's,
You're within the limits.
yeah. And there are no cooking. We have a microwave. That's it. There's absolutely no cooking in there. And obviously liquor, we don't have a permit, so there's no liquor.
There is no liquor there. I've been in your establishment. But where you are in violation right now is that you only have one permit, and that is only for the non-illuminated sign that has the business name on it.
So as far as right now, everything else got to be removed.
Everything else has to be removed.
Done.
And when you get your permit, sir, you cannot cover those windows. That would be condition number 6. I know when you testified about there not being any bars there, and I know that there are not bars there, but this condition still says that you cannot cover the windows.
Okay. And can I see one of those pictures? I want to make another point, if you guys have time.
Okay. I think we got the point across here. You finished through your conditions, correct?
Yes.
Any questions for the zoning inspector from the board?
Yeah, I'd like to
Comments?
get a little better definition on the trash. I think we have a difference here of what's acceptable and what's not. I mean, normally when you have these places where people are going in and out, I thought it was like 24 hours, 48 hours. There was some kind of rule you had to pick your trash up. I know like in McDonald's and that's that way.
Right.
I don't know
Well-
if this fits into that class or not.
They did not, on the conditions, give them a specific timeline. They just said it needed to be scheduled for regular pickups. So they did not give them that. However, if you look at the picture from the day, all of this debris out here is not just trash that's in bags that's in the dumpster. We see what's in the dumpster. Some of this is debris, like somebody was doing some work on something or whatever the case may be.
So you really didn't have an issue with the front of the building with trash. It was them stockbound stuff outside of a dumpster in the rear of the building.
Yes, sir.
I got you. All right, that's why I wanted to clear up.
Yes,
Some of
sir.
these pictures showed trash out in the sidewalk in the front.
Yes.
So to be clear, it's picking up the trash around the building
Around
at
the
all
building.
times.
Yes, sir.
And it's scheduled for pickup when it's scheduled for pickup, but you need to keep the building trash picked up orderly. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, one more question.
The matter concerning hearing number 8167 is now closed and submitted. The board will deliberate on the matter following the remaining agenda items. Can you read the roll, please?
Director Scobie is absent. Director Walterman?
Aye.
Director Best? Here. Director Sidoff?
Here.
Director Rice Walker is excused. Director Gray
Here.
and President Bradley.
Here, we have a quorum. We'll call the main order.
From the President, preliminary approval for letting number 8557, fiscal year 2015 and 2016 citywide sidewalk contract. Supplemental agreement number 1 to PSA number 1155, North Broadway improvement from Thrush Avenue to Walter Avenue. Supplemental agreement between Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, MoDOT, Union Pacific Railroad, and Metropolitan Park and Recreation District doing business as Great Rivers Greenway District, and the City of St. Louis for various safety improvements at 8 railroad grade crossings located in South City as authorized by attached ordinance 69827. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets. Joint recommendation that the following permit be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Union Electric Company doing business as Ameren, Missouri to construct new multiple conduit duct bands and multiple manhole installations within Washington, 20th through 21st Street, Washington through Olive Street, 21st through Jefferson, and Jefferson Avenue, Olive through Chestnut. Recommends approval subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. St. Louis University High School to consolidate land at 4950 Berthold in City Block 3996 and 5592. Car Star Garvaglia to consolidate land at 5210 through 5212 Botanical in City Block 4072.06. Reef Point Investments to subdivide land at 1518 Blur in City Block 2446. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that permit for Monster Bash to declare a festival zone October 31st, 2014, and close Talmadge from Manchester to Alley be approved, subject to certain conditions. Now we have the conditional use.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. President and board members. My name is Terrell Island, zoning plan examiner representing the building commissioner. Per board order number 766, transmitted here with their recommendations for the following conditional use applications. Approval is recommended for one application, and that is 3332 Watson. Approval with conditions is recommended for 10 applications, and they are 2348 Clem, 2336 Palm, 5440 Malentz, 7308 Coronado, 4150A North Grand Boulevard, 4701 Delore Street, 1862 South 10th Street, 4610 Delmar Boulevard, 1702 through 04 South 9th Street, and 2260 South Compton Avenue. Also, approval with conditions is recommended for one application that has been amended, and that's 3739 Page Avenue. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted. And I just want to note on the last one, 3739 Page Avenue, this went to a conditional use hearing earlier this year in February, and the hearing officer at the time did not realize that the applicant applied to operate a 24-hour daycare, and she put restrictions on the hours of operation from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., but she had done all of the other work to get approval for the 24-hour daycare. She's done plat petition. I believe her BPS licensing hearing will be scheduled very shortly. So I wanted to make a correction on condition number 2 of that application. It previously stated the hours of operation should be 6 to 9, 7 days a week, but the condition has been amended to say the hours of operation should be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And she will be attending, like I said, BPS licensing hearing to be open 24 hours. Are there any questions or comments?
Any questions from the board on the conditional uses? Seeing none, take a motion, please.
So move.
Second?
A motion to approve is presented in a second. Can you read the roll, please?
Director Scobie is excused. Director Waterman?
Aye.
Director Best?
Aye.
Director Seedoff? Director Rice Walker is excused. Director Gray?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Approved. As far as table items, we have 2 tabled items. There are no action on either of those today. Is that correct? Me saying none. We'll go into hearing number 8167 for deliberation. Any thoughts on that?
Basically, let's see, I want to issue, or give them to close the business Friday, to totally comply with the permit, or the permit would be revoked.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Do we want to add anything to that? Like, give them
I'm open to
like
suggestions.
give them 60 days or 90 days to stay in compliance? I don't know if we've ever done that before, but give the zoning administrator time to go by for the next couple months. Stay in compliance.
So you're saying like keep it open for like 60 more days so that the zoning inspector will come instead of just tabling it basically for 60 days and then, so they'll have to go out and inspect in 60 days before we come back here.
Well, that's, initially he said that they needed to be in compliance by Friday.
Right.
And then after that, they need to maintain that compliance for 60 days.
So then we're asking zoning to go out by Friday and in 60 days.
Because we don't want to start the revocation process all over. So by maybe requiring that the zoning administrator inspect the site every 30 days for the next 90 days. If it's found out of compliance, we revoke the permit.
Yeah, because I think with the issue of putting it so close to Friday is what if they're, so if they're in violation by Friday, we can't even get it back here by next week anyway, because we'd have to, since it would be considered a hearing, we'd have to do the postings and everything.
But the motion would be that if the property is in violation within the next 90 days, the permit is revoked.
So if they went Friday and they found something wrong, they could report to the board for next Tuesday's meeting, and we would revoke.
Or they even have to report
So they would
to the
just,
board.
so you're just asking for them to make a report to the board or something?
Gary says they don't need a report. We can make this our, if we voted that in, it would just be an automatic. If they were out of compliance, we're turning
The permit's revoked.
it over to them, and if they find something that's out, they,
And just make a couple comments or a couple observations. It seems to me that they've been given numerous occasions to cure this problem. They understand somewhat what the problem is, but what their pushback is that they believe in their interpretation, others aren't following it, so they can violate because they've noted that others are not being called for that. And so to me, I would agree with these guys that we give them an opportunity to cure, and we monitor it for 90 days, and if they're in violation after that period of time, that's an automatic revocation. We don't go through this again and have them come in and argue the points all over with us again. It's pretty straightforward stuff to do.
Can we do that, Counselor?
Without,
Procedurally, I feel uncomfortable at this point. Just like we're giving, I guess, the discretion to zoning department to just inspect, and if they find something, revoke it. Because I mean, that's what we're basically doing. Because they wouldn't have to come back here to present to you guys what they found; they would just revoke it.
so do we issue that condition, have it in play by Friday, and we table this thing for 60 days and carry it on our agenda?
I don't think you want to do that.
No.
I think you want to give them an opportunity to cure, and I think what Mallory's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that after 60 days, if they're in 90 days are in violation, they need to reappear before the board.
We've done-
and we
I
need
know
to
we've done
reopen
that
the hearing
before.
again. as another process.
I know we've done that before, but so you guys are trying to avoid doing that.
Well, if they come back again, it's over. I mean, it's not like it's,
I mean, is that my interpretation?
Right, yeah, that's what I was saying, yes.
Because what you're saying is this will be a closed hearing and we would actually open another hearing, or would you just be?
No, this would be the same hearing.
Same
just be
hearing.
like,
Just a
we've done this
finalization
before where
of it?
we tabled, I think it was tabled for like 6 months once, and so then in 6 months, it is on the agenda again to come before the board whether they've had any violations. I mean, obviously you don't want to do that far in advance, but I'm just saying that it's been done before where you guys have tabled the hearing for so many days, and then that the inspector comes on that day, whatever the deadline was, and testifies that there were violations, and then it's revoked.
I'm okay with
Kind of
it.
like, it's pretty much what you said, Todd, that they would have to come back and report. Now, you're not saying we're gonna have another hearing. We're just saying that we're not going to revoke, and that if the property is found in violation within 90 days, the zoning administrator comes to the board and says, I found the property to be in violation on this date, and at that time, we could revoke.
But you're saying we don't need to vote on that?
No, we do, I would say
Yes,
we
we
do
do.
need to
Yeah,
vote.
we got to vote,
We
not
do.
to revoke.
To do that.
Right.
Right.
With the provision that the property will be inspected periodically over the next 90 days, and if the property is found in violation at any time during that period, a report would be given to the Board of Public Service to consider revocation at that time.
I would think you wouldn't be more definite than periodically, just for zoning's benefit.
Well, what would you suggest?
I don't,
We would only go by there 3 times in the next 90 days.
okay.
Okay, so we really want this to.
Yeah, you
it's
don't
gotta
want to
be-
tell them we're going to do it.
So it's got to be in full compliance by Halloween, by 10/31, and it needs to stay that way for a period of 90 days. And we're requesting that the zoning administrator visit that site
The subject of period.
3 times during those 90
I almost
days.
said periodic.
Yeah, three times during those 90 days.
What do you think, the
That's,
problem?
I mean, if that's what you guys want to do, that's
Right.
fine.
Every time we want to do something, you say we can't.
No, I'm just trying to figure out a way where we can do what you guys want to do, so that,
Well, we could just vote, do what we want.
right,
to do.
exactly. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, the guy's got a business, he's just got a hard time playing by the rules. Right. And it's not like he's out
Rich, you got it.
harming people, he's just got an ugly place we need to
Yeah,
clean
I
up.
believe
Property,
so.
what? The
comply.
motion would be to deny the request to revoke
Okay.
the permit at this time, and condition that upon the property being in full compliance by Friday, October 31st, and that the property will be inspected by the zoning administrator at least 3 times during the next 90-day period. And if the zoning administrator finds the property to be in violation, they will report such violations to the board at the next meeting following the violation, where the board would consider revocation.
Okay, I have a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, can you read the roll, please?
Director Scobie is excused. Director Walterman.
Aye.
Director Best. Director Seedoff. Director Rice Walker is excused. Director Gray.
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye, approved. Motion to accept the agenda, please.
So moved. Second. Previous roll.
Okay, motion and second, and call for use of previous roll. Is there any objection to use of previous roll? Seeing none. Approved. Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
You on that.
Thank you, John.